Oh.
All right,
Awesome.
everybody.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I heard Texas is on the call. Listen, I want to know who else is on this call today. It's Magnificent Monday. We're about to go live. We got about 10 more seconds, so I want to know who else is on this call and where are you calling from today? I'm calling from Bowie, Maryland. Where are you calling from?
That's what we do, y'all.
Come on, you don't want to let me know where you're calling from? It's Magnificent Monday. Okay, well, listen, we're going to go ahead and go live now in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
It has the number. Look, it has the number. I put the number in. So they can call in. Look at this. This is great. We got one viewer. 3. Everybody,
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mariko Turner, and I am a national director for the awesome and incredible team called TNT. I want to welcome you to Magnificent Monday. Welcome to the call. Listen, before we get this call started, I just want to encourage you all to do me a huge, huge favor. No, don't do me a huge favor. Do someone else a favor. Listen, we all have friends, we all have family members that we speak to on a daily basis. We have coworkers that we work with that sit right next to us, and those are the very people that we know are going through a financial adversity. Listen, you're on this call because someone invited you, or maybe you're on this call because you're already a part of this wonderful organization and this opportunity. But listen, if you're sitting next to someone and you know they're going through some struggles, you know they're trying to put extra food on the table, you know that they got their son or their daughter in a baseball league and they can't afford the baseball bat, or they can't afford the uniforms, listen, do them a favor. Get them on this call right now. This could be the very call that could put food on the table. This could be the very call that could help someone get their car fixed. This could be the very call that gets someone into their next financial vernacular and help create legacy for a family. Because we know that legacy is how many lives have been made better because we have lived. And listen, it would behoove us not to help the world. Like Michael Jackson said, we're going to heal the world. So listen, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and launch this call off now because listen, just like many of you all, I was looking for an opportunity about a year and a half ago. Just like you all, my back was against the wall. Just like you all, I had some adversities and some issues going on in my life that needed immediate attention right then and there. I was hoping, I was wishing, and I was praying for an opportunity to come my way. Because see, growing up in a single household, I watched my mother work herself literally into exhaustion. I watched my mother get up every single morning at 3 a.m. She would run off to the bathroom to put on her makeup and get beautified and put on her nurse's uniform because she was a medical assistant in a doctor's office, and then she was going to school to become a nurse. And then she would go off into the kitchen and she would start whipping up breakfast. She would start making lunch for me. She would stick it in the microwave so that when I got up and I got ready for school, I wouldn't have to worry about if I was going to have a meal for the day. It was already prepared. And then she would dart off out the house in the night, because it was still dark in Louisville, Kentucky, at 4 in the morning. She would walk 2.5, 3 blocks just to stand on a bus stop to catch a bus to go to work, then catch another bus to go to school, and then she would catch another bus to go back to work, and then she would catch another bus to go home at night. And let me tell you, watching my mother do this day in, day out, I learned the aptitude of hard work. I learned what it means to give your all. I learned what it means to sacrifice everything that you have just to take care of your family, no matter what. And truth be told, my mother had dreams. She had dreams that she had fulfilled early on in life, and I'm pretty sure she would have loved to have continued them all. Because listen, she was a jazz singer and a model. She traveled the world. She went to Paris. She went to Milan, Venice. She lived in Italy. She had a great life in her early childhood. But listen, when she decided to have me, when she found out that I was going to be born, she gave it all up, sacrificed her happiness just so she could birth a new happiness. And that would be in the form of yours truly. But listen, watching my mother work hard like she did, it did something on the inside of me. Because anytime you wake up in the morning and you hear your parent running back and forth, and they're frightened because they're late for work. My mother woke up one morning, she said she was 45 minutes late getting ready for work. And she said, if I don't get out here and get on this bus, they're going to dock my pay. And then I'm going to have to figure out, how do I make up this time? How do I get this time back? And I looked her in the eyes and I said, Mama, it's Saturday. You don't have to work today, baby. And like a little child, she broke down crying in front of me. Broke my heart. I think they heard my heart crack into bed because it hurt me that bad. My mother fell to her knees. I picked her up and I walked her into her bedroom and put her to sleep. I don't know about you all, but listen, some of you all are doing that right now. Some of you all are doing this exact same thing. Some of you all are working 2 and 3 jobs, working 7 days a week. You develop high blood pressure. You gain some weight. You're unhappy. You're stressed out. You got a headache. You ever feel that pain in the back of your neck and then it goes to your temples? That means you're stressed out. That means you're tired. That means you need to do something different. See my mother like that? I decided to do something about it. I realized at an early age I had a talent for singing and songwriting, so I started getting into local contests around my hometown. Turns out I was pretty good because I started winning every single contest I got in. But I don't want to equate it to me being just that superlative at singing and songwriting. My back was against the wall, so it was time to eat. I had to do something. I had to help my mother. I wanted to be able to give her some rest, be able to just give her some freedom, if you will. Maybe even let her just, she was going to school to be a nurse. Hopefully, I want to maybe stop her from having to work just so she could go to school. Many of you all are going to school right now and working 2 or 3 jobs. I don't know how you do it, but it's time for a change. I watched my mother do this way too long. So I went off and I started fulfilling my dreams, and I got to the music business at an early age. By the age 19 or 20, I had landed my first record deal with the late, great rapper Heavy D. That's that guy. From Mount Vernon, money-earning Mount Vernon, Heavy Bun Dilly Dilly D. Yeah, that guy. And then my life took off into a new direction. But on my mind the whole time, all I could think about was, man, one day I'm going to call home and I'm going to free my mom. I'm going to be able to say, Mama, you can quit your job. I've got your back. You don't have to work anymore. That was my main goal. That's all I wanted to do. And then I started getting around some gentlemen that I had been reading about in Right On magazine. I'm really telling my age right now. People like Sean P. Diddy Combs and Teddy Riley and Dave Jam Hall and ADF and Northern Michael Walden. I started hanging around these guys because I saw that these guys stayed around each other. Mr. Andre Harrell. I watched these guys. They all made money together. And I said, I need to get around these guys. Because my mother always told me, listen, I could tell how much money you make or the quality of person you are by your 5 closest people you hang around. I like to call it the law of averages. I like to say that you are the people you hang around. You know how they say we are what we eat? Well, I believe you're the sum of the 5 closest people that you hang around. So I started hanging around with these guys and rubbing elbows with them, and I saw that these guys stayed in the studio all night producing music. So I said, hey, I should do the same thing. So I started producing music. Turns out I was pretty good because I landed a music production contract with the largest production camp in the world, with the largest #1 producer in the world, and that's with Mr. Timberland himself. And I just thought surely my life was going to just turn around and I was going to be able to, buy my mother that big mansion that she wanted, that big Mercedes-Benz, and then also be able to free her from her job, give her some rest. Well, when I got to the camp, things were good, but by that time I was married with children, and then I found out while I was working in the business that my mother had fallen terminally ill. I had to work, so now my mother's terminally ill, and I'm having to take care of her household and take care of my household at the same time. But then I had another problem, a problem that most of you all are having right now. You're trying to work up the corporate ladder. I was looking to work up that music business corporate ladder, and it seemed that I was getting there until I was told, because I asked this question. I said, "Hey, I've been putting in my time and showing up, first one here, last one to leave. I was wondering, can I get a little extra pay? Can I get a little bit of, a little bit more money?" And I was told, you were hired for the position that we hired you for. So you stand to continue to make exactly what you're making now until we feel like you've paid your dues. How many of you all have paid your dues already? Some of you all are still paying your dues. And I don't mean paying your dues like working hard. I mean paying your dues because you're working too many jobs right now. You can barely keep up with the days, and that's not a good thing if you're exhausted. Listen, we have to make a change. We have to do something different. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over and expecting a different result. What results are you getting right now? Are you still waking up early in the morning saying to yourself, is this all there is? Are you looking yourself in the mirror every single day and not happy with what you see? Well, if that's you, it's time to make a change. We get on this call every single day, not for us. We get on here because we want to free someone. We want to help someone get to the other side of the money. I watched my mother work herself into exhaustion, and I saw myself doing the same exact thing. That's why I walked away from working with Timberland's camp. And people thought I was crazy. They thought I'd lost my mind, gone senile, early stage Alzheimer's. I don't know. But I was tired. I was never around my family. I was underpaid. And I felt like it was a constant fight all the time. And listen, I'm a person who doesn't mind fighting for what I believe in. But at the same time, I want to be rewarded for my work, for my efforts. You deserve it. We all deserve it. When I walked away from Timberland's camp, I walked away from a lot. My wife and I, we lost our home. We lost our car. We were homeless for a short period of time. We had to go live with some friends. Yeah, I don't mind saying that. My mother told me to wear my feelings on my sleeves. Somebody may need to take a tug at them one day. Maybe you're the person that needs to take a tug. Have you been homeless before? Maybe your car got repoed yesterday. Maybe it just got repoed this morning. I know what that feels like. I've been there. It's time to make a change. You gotta change the environment of people that you're around. A good friend of mine a year and a half ago introduced me to this business opportunity through the company called Felder. And listen, just to say it changed my life, it's saying a look. He didn't only just put me in a good organization of business, he put me around a great organization of people. How many people can you say would let you come stay in a place like this, a mansion, 10,000 square feet, where you have your own room, go in the refrigerator, get what you want, drive my car, don't worry about asking, here are the keys. And they don't mind being there for you. Who's there for you right now? Who's passing the baton to you? Who's reaching their hand back when you fall down the barrel? Is someone pulling you up? Well, I would like to say if someone invited you on this call today, that person's pulling you up today. Get a pen and pad. Take copious notes because I'm going to introduce you to a couple of gentlemen that I love, I respect, and I admire with all of the fiber of my being. These guys saved my life. They threw me a lifeline, and they keep on throwing me a lifeline each and every time. Because listen, life is going to have its ups and downs. But at the end of the day, do you want us to motivate you? Or do you want us to leave you alone? Well, this call is for the people who want to be motivated. This call is for the people who are sick and tired of being sick and tired. This call is for the people who are tired of robbing Peter to pay Paul and then robbing Paul to pay Peter back. It's time for that madness to end. You have to get around a new group of people. And I'm going to introduce you to somebody that saved my life. Because a year and a half ago, I pocket dialed this guy by accident. I like to say that it was really God orchestrating the new frontier for my life. So right now, I want to bring to the call someone I have a tremendous amount of respect for. This gentleman knows 100% about business and what it takes to be successful. He's had an awful lot of success in a very short period of time. He literally spends his days, nights, and weekends helping people just like you and I earn additional income. And he's having a lot of fun doing it. I'm so glad to call him my friend. I'm so glad that he threw me this lifeline. Because of this opportunity that he's given me, I've been able to help hundreds on my way to thousands of other people. Because of this opportunity, last month I was able to be home with my mother when she passed away in her final days. Because of this opportunity, I have strong alpha men and alpha women who've chosen to roll up their sleeves and fight the good fight for financial freedom. So I want to bring to the call right now, National Director, soon to be Senior Vice President. This guy earned 5 figures in his first 30 days in the business, $10,000. I don't think no one's done it since. I want to introduce to you top producing, top training, world-renowned speaker, my friend, my brother, and my mentor, National Director, soon to be Senior Vice President. You all may know him as Ray, but we call him Ray the Superman Sensei Hendrickson. The call is all yours, sir.
Awesome, Mr. Turner. My God, my God. I'm excited to be on a phone call today. Today is Magnificent Monday. The 3 of us are in the same place at the same time. Very hard to find, very rare, but heaven has orchestrated it such that we could be live today for you guys in Platinum Senior Vice President Thomas Felder's palatial estate. I mean, it's ridiculous. And so I'm excited to be on a phone call with you guys, and I appreciate Mr. Turner pouring out. He does it so liberally, so generously. You know, I think the difference between a lifelong champion and one who probably has a flash in the pan is that they bask in the victory of their yesterdays. They always talk about when I was this or when I was that or when the Pacific was terrific. But a champion that continues to excel is a champion that recognizes that life is going to continue to throw challenges in your pathway. And got back in the ring, fought over and over and over again. And a champion fails until he wins, and a loser is a champion who gets comfortable in the dirt. And I think if I was to identify one person who personified what it is to be championship material, it would be Mariko Turner. You guys know in the last few weekends, he's had a significant series of catastrophic events occur, and the man is unstoppable. I mean, Energizer Bunny has a picture of him in his wallet. And so we're excited about having him on our business team because in the grand scheme of things, we're building something together. And I think if we were willing to take an introspective look at ourselves, and we were willing to take a snapshot of our visions, the dreams that we have, in order for those things to come to pass, you really got to be prepared to build something. And building is really what we're designed to do. From the very first time that man was given the breath of life, he was given the responsibility to build. And if we get away from building, then what we do is we relegate our own personal power into the hands of people around us who would devise or design our reality for us. I think what I'm trying to encourage you all to recognize is if we are given the dominion over the works of his hands, then we ought to get busy building the reality that we want. And I think part of the problem is that we've been so brainwashed to believe that we can't have what we want, or we can't be what we desire, or we can't go where we dream about. Pardon me. But in the grand scheme of things, if we are made just a little lower than the angels, help me somebody. If we were given the dominion over the works of his hands, if we are the Cadillac of his creation, then there is nothing that is impossible for man. Nothing that is impossible for man. Everything is possible. I read that somewhere. I think I read that in this pretty good book. It's a pretty good book. In fact, it's so good they call it the good book. You should get around to reading it from time to time. It'll tell you about yourself. And more often than not, when we look at TV and we listen to the 5,000 messages that are inundating and overwhelming our lifestyles, it teaches us how to be something other than ourselves. We always endeavor to be the girl with the long blonde hair or the guy with the six-pack. We're never happy about being ourselves. And the problem with that is I would be absolutely terrible at being a Thomas Felder. I would be absolutely terrible. I would be the worst Thomas Felder in the history of the world. But you know, I'd make a pretty phenomenal Ray Hendrickson. And if we get comfortable with being ourselves, if we start to remember who we are and to whom we belong, you are uniquely, wonderfully, and fearfully made. If you decide to accept who you are, if you decide to accept your circumstances, only then will you be empowered to do something about it and move forward. So I want to address a couple of things. I know we got to go over the business opportunity, but can I tell you something? Before you understood what things cost, before you knew what it was to be a doctor or an attorney or a CPA, before you understood that before too long, you'd have to get a job. There were some things that you wanted to have, some things that you wanted to be, some things that you wanted to do long before that. When you were on the playground, when you were playing Ringalivio and stickball and off the wall and run, catch, and kiss, when you were playing all those childhood games like hot peas and butter and all of those things that we remember so fondly in our brains before you knew that you'd have to pay a rent or a mortgage or a car note, there were some things that you used to dream about. Where is that younger version of you? What have you done with that person? Where did you sell that little one into slavery? When did you lock him or her into the closet? When did you put him in a steamer trunk in the basement? What was it that that little version of you wanted? And at what point in your life did you accept somebody else's reality for the big version of you? How much did you sell yourself for? That's the question I want to ask. Who was it that gave you a price for the you that you are today when you sold out the little version of you? Y'all ain't ready for this. These are some of the questions that my partners compelled me to think about. Ray, if money was not an object, if you had all the money in the world, if you had a bank account full of zeros and commas and ones and twos, if you had Oprah kind of money, where would you be right now? What would you be doing right now? What would your life look like right now? That's what I want to ask you. On Magnificent Monday, because it's the start of the work week and today is the first day to the rest of your life, and you'll always hear me say, make the rest of your life the best of your life, and there's no better time than the present to start thinking about it. If you had that kind of financial sustenance, what would your lifestyle look like? Where would your children go to school? Would you ever have to worry about making decisions based on the money that you do not have? Would you give your children organic food? Would you have local produce delivered to the house? That's the kind of, would you have the world-class medical coverage that your mother and father and auntie and big mama and them need? Would you have those things? And if you're not in a position to take advantage of those things now, what are you prepared to do in order to get them? Or have you just decided where you are is where you're going to be and you all right with it, even though I already mentioned a loser is just a champion who agrees to stay down? Oh, I'm going to give you something to think about before too long. Whatever you're endeavoring to do, you first got to decide to believe you deserve it. And once you decide to believe you deserve it, you've got to decide to believe you can have it. And once you decide to believe you deserve it and you decide to believe you can have it, all you need is a vehicle. Look, I don't care what it would take. If I ran into Platinum Senior Vice President Thomas Felder, he lived in a 10,000 square foot mansion, drove a almost $300,000 car, could take care of his families in ways that I coveted if he was a local fertilizer farmer. Then I would ask him, what do I got to do to get into fertilizer? I don't care about what I have to do. As long as it's legal, moral, ethical, and God won't be mad, I'm prepared to do whatever I have to do to take care of my children. We get caught up in these ideas about being attorneys, about being doctors, about being CPAs, when you fail to remember those are all vehicles to do the things in life you want to do. Don't ask me if being an engineer is what I want to be. No, I want to be free. I just thought being an engineer was the vehicle to get me there. So don't get confused between an occupation, which is supposed to serve as a vehicle, and the destination, which is supposed to be freedom. Don't get the two twisted. If you want to be free, and I found somebody who was wealthy, and all they did was dealt in fertilizer, I would ask to show me my shovel. If it meant that I could get to the other side, man, I would stand knee deep in cow manure and I would shovel it over and over, year in and year out, if it meant I could take care of my family. I don't care about the vehicle. I care about the results. And so that's why I'm so excited about this company, because it's the best, most lucrative vehicle I could find. And I was looking here and there. I was looking everywhere. I was looking, y'all know the song. I was desperate to find the vehicle. Corporate America told me a whole bunch of lies. When I got in corporate America, It turns out that it was not the right vehicle, because I had looked down the tunnel of time and I saw my supervisors. They were making just a little more money than I was, and they were destitute just like I was. So I thought, if in 10 years I'm going to be a supervisor or a manager just to get a 5% raise in income and still be destitute, I don't want to do that. So I learned how to find somebody who had what I wanted, learn what they knew, do what they do, and eventually, before too long, in the not too distant future, I will ultimately have what they have. That's the secret to success. So whoever told us, whoever brainwashed us, whoever persuaded us that being a doctor, a lawyer, a CPA, an Indian chief was your way to get to financial independence simply needed to fill a seat in the corporate offices. That's all that amounts to, because your supervisor's supervising supervisor lives in your dream house. Success, ladies and gentlemen, wealth, ladies and gentlemen, is a byproduct of your activity. And if your activity is not in complete harmony with your objective, you will fail 100% of the time. Your activity is a byproduct of your ambition. Your ambition is a byproduct of what you think about you. And to the degree that you lack the self-discipline is to the degree that you love to fail. And to the degree that you love to fail is to the degree that you have self-hatred. And they've been brainwashing us our whole lives to hate ourselves. That's why some of our sisters are bleaching their hair to look straight and blonde. They put in contacts, and the fellas are getting liposuction, and they're getting cleft chins, and they're doing this and it. Look, I'm happy being me. I'm going to be the best me heaven has ever created. So what are you prepared to do? I'm prepared to go all the way. So I'm thankful that heaven sent this business opportunity my way on September 23rd, 2013, because I was literally hoping, wishing, and praying. I was that guy sitting up late night watching those no money down infomercials about how to buy $1 million worth of real estate by next Thursday. I was that guy. I was just looking for something. Are you looking? This call is for people who are open-minded, success-oriented, money-motivated, highly ambitious, and coachable. Are you any one of those things, or a combination of those things? If you aren't, then I submit to you, you don't love yourself enough yet to believe you deserve to have what you think about. You don't love yourself enough yet. It took many of us a long time. Some of us are still struggling. Why do you think Tony Robbins makes millions of dollars? He stands on a stage before people and tell them how awesome they are. And we paid him for that? Why do you think that is? Why do you think we sit before the Les Browns of the world and the Zig Ziglars of the world and the Jim Rohns of the world and all these magnificent, eloquent speakers who use beautifully choreographed speeches to tell you how awesome you are, and then they send you out into the world right back to the job that you came from? That's because we've been taught not to love ourselves. But I submit to you today that until you can love yourself, you can't effectively love your neighbor. In that same good book, it says, love your neighbor as yourself. It inherently is suggesting in no uncertain terms that in order for you to love your neighbor effectively, you got to first learn how to love yourself. I know that's not a part of my speech, my lesson. I just thought that was good stuff. Let it marinate, seep down between the synapses in your brain. So I found this opportunity, or the opportunity found me, or heaven put us together, however you want to kind of dissect it and kind of reassemble it. And I was thankful because I got a chance to take a look at an opportunity that literally makes true residual income. And we had tried some of the other network marketing companies. None of them offered true residual income. True residual income is when you do something one time and get paid over and over and over again. But if I got to sell vitamins every 30 days, if I got to sell skincare every 30 days, if I got to find more people who need that special cellulite thigh cream, if I got to find more people who need the anti-gravity NASA generated and designed sports bra, if I got to find more people who need the humidifier with the pretty blue light that hypnotizes you in the dark, then that's not residual income. That's a job. I didn't want a job, had a job, needed an opportunity. The difference is pretty vast. So I took a look at this company because they were one of the few companies that offered essential services. What does essential services means? True residual income. Essential services like cable, internet, home phones, cell phones, gas, electricity, home heating oil, health insurance. Those are services that people can't live without. In fact, statistically, the average consumer will pay those bills before they pay their rent. You better not try to take their scandal away from them. They'll kill you dead. And so when I took a look at this company, I knew there were other companies that did what we did, but look, it just made sense for me to join a winning team. No other company in our industry was the #1 customer acquisition company in the United States. No other company in our history was the #1 corporate business entity in Rochester, New York, beating out companies like Xerox, Paychex, Bausch & Lomb. No other company in our industry has appeared in Success from Home Magazine 5 times, Your Business at Home Magazine 4 times, Inc. 500, 5,000, 9 times. No other company in the history of our industry, especially what it is in line we do, have come close to a $162 million debt-free company with an A+ credit rating with the Better Business Bureau and governance sanctioned by the Federal Trade Commission in good standing. So naturally, if I'm looking at a few companies that did these things, why would I join any company that was less than #1? You heard it from Mr. Turner earlier. He said, you are who you hang out with. I want to be a part of a winning team. I was never on a school ground, playgrounds hollering, I want to join a team that wins, that loses all the time. Nobody does that. In fact, when they choose you for a team that normally loses, don't you remember getting upset? You would just pout all afternoon. You knew you wasn't going to win. And everybody's going to make fun of you because you was on a losing team. Isn't that right? That's one of the things I carried into my adulthood. So when this came around, I remembered, join the winning team. So I got started. What I learned was that this company had partnered with all the major players that do cable, internet, home phone, cell phone, gas, electricity, home heating oil, and health insurance. And those are companies that you're familiar with. So even if you've never heard of 5 Links Enterprises, even though you've never heard of us and we have a 50,000 square foot state-of-the-art world headquarters in Rochester, New York, even though you've never heard of us and we've been around since 2001, here are some of the companies that you have heard of that we're in partnership with. AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, Sprint, Nextel, GE, DirecTV, Dish Network, Comcast, Xfinity, Cox, Cablevision, Optonline, Blue Cross Blue Shield, TouchSuite, and about a half a dozen other companies. You guys are familiar with those companies because they historically spend millions of dollars to advertise on television. You see them on the TV, you see them on billboards, you hear them on the radio. But chances are, the last time you were stuck in traffic and you heard a radio ad for T-Mobile, it didn't compel you to yank your car off the highway because you had to make the phone call before the commercial went off. It never happens. But they spend millions of dollars to advertise. And they'll write the check to pay for the advertising, but who do you think pays the bill? You do. And you pay for it in higher rates. And so in 2004, when the advent of Facebook took off, and he became, the guy who started it, Mark Zuckerberg, became a billionaire in less than a decade, never having run any commercial advertising. You know what big business did, don't you? They said, we want to do what he did. He simply used social media and word of mouth to create a billion-dollar entity without spending a single red cent. So big business naturally wants to copycat, but they want to find the company that does it the best. And I've already told you what company that was. It was 5 Links Enterprises. So we promised to get them all of the customers that they wanted using social media, word of mouth advertising. The millions of dollars that they would normally spend, they get to keep it. And guess what happened ominously? The money that they get to keep, they pass back to the consumer in the form of savings. That means the customer saves 15 to 20% on average, sometimes more, sometimes less, depending upon where they live in the United States. Taxes and tariffs vary from state to state. But the customer receives a pretty nice discount. Who wants a discount? I do. Everybody wants to save money. What we earn is 50 cents to $11 every time that customer pays their bill, every 30 days for the life of that customer. Now, before I was willing to tell my friends and family members, because I got a pretty good reputation, I wanted to try it on. I wanted to test drive it. I wanted to see if it worked. You ever try on a pair of brand new shoes, you walk around the store, see how it fit? If it's too tight, you're either going to decide to buy it and put one of those shoehorn things in it to stretch it out a little, or you're going to get a bigger size. I wanted to see if it would fit. I wanted to test drive it a little bit, kick the tires a little bit. So I got started and I switched over some services in my own home. Do you know I started saving close to $200 a month? just by switching my own services over? Look, let me ask you all a question. When was the last time you got a $200 or never? It is very few of us who will ever experience what it's like outside of getting a new job to experience a $200 raise every 30 days. My mom used to say a penny saved is a penny earned. Did your mama say that? I think they learned that in mommy school. And so I decided when I got started saving this money. They paid me at the end of the month for saving the money on bills I was going to pay anyway. I decided to tell everybody because everybody that I cared about was looking for a way to save. So I would simply send them a text, and the text would read, if I could show you a way to save a few $1,000s a year on the services you use every day, would you want me to tell you? Do you know what the majority? They would simply go to my website. Watch how simple this is. They would go to my website. They would choose the service that they wanted. They would choose the provider that they wanted. They would choose the promotional discounted rate that they wanted. And every time they turned the light on or flushed the toilet or took a shower or cooked a meal or washed a dish, turn the TV on, make a phone call, send a text, I was getting paid 50 cents to $11 for the life of that customer. Guess what that's called? True residual income. Because whether or not I never see you, you're going to pay your gas, electricity, home heating oil bill. You're going to keep the heat on in the winter. And you're going to keep the AC on or the fan blowing in the summer. Those are just things we're going to do. And so we tapped into industries that people can't live without, which creates true residual income. The only other thing I had to learn was distribution. Distribution creates generational wealth. I know that because J. Paul Getty, first documented billionaire, said so. He said, I'd rather earn my income by earning 1% of 100 people's efforts than to be completely responsible for my own income. Because if something happens to me or you, it impacts 100% of your income. But if you're in business with 99 other people, you don't even have to be at work. You'll still earn 99% of your income. And that's how corporate America is set up. It uses that wealth principle so that you and I work for the 1%ers so that they could be on a golf course Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Isn't that awesome? It's a divine principle, and irrespective of what your religious predispositions are, it must work. There was a guy named Jesus who found 12 people. He told the 12 people to tell 12 other people. The 12 became 24. 24 became 48. The 48 became 96. By Acts chapter 3, it was 3,000. Acts chapter 5, 6, it was 5,000. They stopped counting. 2,000 years later, it's 3 billion people. Now, wouldn't it be great if you could set up some sort of distribution network where in 2,000 years, your downline organization was 3 billion people, and every time they turned the light on, flushed the toilet, took a shower, cooked a meal, washed a dish, opened a fridge, used a microwave, watched TV, surfed the internet, make a phone call, or send a text, your children's 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 great-grandchildren got a check in the mail. Because that's what we're doing. We recognize that we are using this business as a vehicle, nothing more. The ultimate objective is to become financially independent to such a degree where our children's children are benefited. That's Proverbs 13:22, and we couldn't find a better vehicle to do it. If you think your job is going to get you there, shame on you. Here's what my mom used to say: fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, it's my fault. Shame on me. I started looking for an outlet because I couldn't find not one single solitary person who had followed that go to school, get an education, you get a good job, make a lot of money, be successful adage, and live their dream lifestyle. Not one. But I got several dozen in this company that lives the kind of lifestyle I want to have. So guess what it made sense for me to do? Join. And I know I haven't given you enough information to make a decision. I truly recognize that, and I apologize. Me trying to help you understand all of the intricate details about our opportunity, how we get paid in 10 different ways, how to set up business in multiple states and multiple time zones and 3 international currencies and different. That would be like me trying to cut your hair over the phone. Imagine that. You're going to need to see some things. You need to see exactly what we do. You need to see exactly how we do it. And you certainly need to see exactly how we get paid. There's only one way we could show you how to do that. We put together a 20-minute video that's not only going to do that to a significant degree, but it's going to answer 95% of the questions that the average person is going to have. So go take a look. And remember, I told you this. If you don't remember anything else, remember I told you this. success is a byproduct of your activity. Your activity is a byproduct of your ambition. And your ambition is a byproduct of what you think about you. And so I got around people who helped me remember who I was. Man, I'm the baddest dude you're going to meet today. I promise you that. But that's because I hang out with people who are equally as awesome. And so I have been elevated to the level of alpha male lion. I am a leader because I surround myself with leaders. And the world's greatest leader was first the world's greatest student. Go take a look at the website. www.5 LINX as in X-ray, PAYS as in Sally, M as in money, E as in Edward.com. Tell the person who introduced you to this call you've seen it, you're interested, you want to save some money, or you've seen it, you're interested, you want to make some money. Now for the remaining time, I want to introduce you to somebody that I have a tremendous amount of respect for because he knows 100% of what it takes to succeed in business. He's had record-breaking exponential millionaire success in a record-breaking abbreviated amount of time. I'm sitting in his palatial home as we speak. 10,000 square foot mansion. The whole bottom floor is over 2,000 square feet. That's bigger than my house. I got my own room down there. There's a bathroom down there. There's a game room down there. There's a workout room down there. There's a movie theater down there. It's a whole ecosystem down there is what I'm trying to tell you. But he's when I first met him, he was my mentor, and everybody needs one. You don't know everything. So he was it started out as my mentor. And then he became my business coach. And then he became my friend. And I must admit, he's one of the greatest friends I'll ever have on the time side of life. I'm thankful for him. He's taught me more about creating wealth, more about being self-reliant, more about independence than anyone I've ever met in all of my world. And so I'm indebted to him eternally. And just by virtue of the fact that I can call him my friend, I'll never be able to repay this debt. So without any further ado, I want to introduce to some and present to others the wealthiest person you'll probably meet this calendar year. He's the author of a best-selling book called Redefining the American Dream. We call him the man, the myth, and the legend. Platinum Senior Vice President, soon to be double platinum, which means his income is about to double. Thomas the Maestro Felder. Maestro, are you there?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
Listen, I'm excited, y'all. I mean, I don't know how this thing gets any better every day. I mean, it's like playing in your favorite sandbox. Got your favorite toy. It's a sunny day, and all your friends are over. You got bubbles. You got music. You got the little red wagon. I mean, this is what it's like working from home, surrounded by your friends. I mean, most of us go to work, and we do it for years, and we have bosses that we don't like. We have co-workers that we are afraid to deal with because we feel like they're backbiting us and they want us to fail. We got to leave home angry and jump into traffic for 2 hours. And we do just enough not to get fired, and the boss pays us just enough not to quit. Compare that to what we have here. I mean, we drive around all day in a 6-figure vehicle, and all we do is look for 1 or 2 people who want more. 1 or 2 people that says, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. This is the best job I could ever imagine. Making money and changing lives. Is there anybody out there that if I can show you a way how to make $1,000 every single week for the rest of the year, that you would not give this business a try? Anybody? You know, forget the network marketing. Some of y'all are too scared of your own shadow. So I know the network part of the network marketing you will never get. But let's just get to the part of the direct sales that we do. I can show you one product that we sell, just one. And for you to sell that one product, it's a credit card processing machine. The company will pay you on average just about $200 for every machine that you sell. And that's on the front end. Not only is it a machine that we sell, it is a machine that the government mandates that you get. It's a credit card processor that processes credit cards that use a chip, an EMV chip reader. And we get $200 for every one. So let's say we go down the street anywhere in America, and the stores that we run into, out of every 10 stores you go to, only 3 of them will have the right machine. So if 3 of them have the right machine, 7 of them don't. 7 of them are looking for it. 7 of them, if I don't go a looking and a knocking and a calling, they're going to get it someplace else. But can you imagine if only 30% of all the stores in the entire America have the right machine? What kind of opportunity knocks at our door? When we get off this call with you guys, when we get off this Facebook Live with you guys, we're going to walk down the street. I'm going to put my blazer on so I look semi-professional. I'm going to put my loafers on instead of my flip-flops. And for 1 hour, I'm going to go from store to store to store just to make $1,000. That's it. That's it for the day. Phew, long day. It is possible. I know, because this doesn't jive with your work experience and the hours that you have to put in on the job. This is hard to sort of swallow. But just because you ain't never swallowed it doesn't make it so. It is called cognitive dissonance when you won't believe something that's true just because you never heard it, even in spite of overwhelming evidence. We get on this call and we give you overwhelming evidence time after time after time. It would be one thing if I was one person that had success in this business. Then you could say, oh, no, I don't want to do it. I could understand if I was a guy who did network marketing before and sold lotions and pills and vitamins and girdles and yo-yos, lions, tigers, and bears. Oh my. Now, I could understand that you said, no, this won't work for me. But when I show you 34, 35 multimillionaires in our business that are brown skinned, like many of us on this call, many of us on this line, then how can you say you can't do it? When I show you people with no degrees, when I show you people with high school diplomas, when I show you people that never even graduated from high school, don't speak English, English is their 3rd language, and they're making doctor-style income in this business, how could you not take a look? I would at least be curious and want to see. You know, if you have a child and a child is afraid of the dark, that's okay. We expect that from children. But when you have an adult who says, keep me in the dark, don't show me the light, don't point me in a better direction, that's when I'm afraid. That's when I've got a problem. So you say, how do I do it, Thomas? I've never done it before. How do I do something that I've never done? How do I get to some place that I've never been? Well, we do it by setting a plan or a goal. We got to set a destination. A journey of 1,000 miles starts with 1 step. So we don't expect you to know what to do, but can you take it 1 day at a time? 1 task at a time as your situation starts to change? This business is not get rich quick. It's called get rich slow. And I like get rich slow best versus not get rich at all. Give me the slow path, right? So that's how we do it. We build it up. We have a plan. And I tell you, let's start your plan with just watching the video. I want you to watch a video, 5linkspaysme.com. Ray, can you put that on the screen for me? www.5linkspaysme.com. Right? The number 5, LINXPAYSME.com. It is a 20-minute video that will give you an overview of what we do. It'll explain 95% of what we do, how we do it, and how we get paid. Right? So once we give you a plan, we start with the video. After the video, we'll use calls like this to introduce people to the business. We'll give you some scripts, easy scripts that a 3rd grader can do. Right? All we want to do is expose the business. We are looking for people who are looking. Not everybody's looking. Not everybody want to be financially free. Not every slave was trying to get off the plantation. Right? We're just looking for people who are looking. So take a look at this website, right? I'm going to hold it up for you. That's one of the things that I can do when I'm on Facebook Live, right? 5linkspaysme.com. Everybody see that? Right? So once I give you a plan, the next thing I want to tell you is don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. You got to do something different. You should be afraid of working at your job for 10 more years. That's to scare you. You should be afraid of every Friday getting the same check that wasn't enough last week. That should scare you. You should be afraid of turning 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and the thought that you're going to work until your dying day, that should terrify you. Not going after an opportunity. No challenge is too great if the gift and the prize is worth it. But you got to be hungry. Got to be hungry. I'm hungry, y'all. I wanted everything. I'm not going to lie. When I was a kid, they asked me, what did I want to be? Right? So I told them I wanted to be a lawyer. I wanted to be a doctor. I wanted to be a fireman. I wanted to be a superhero. I wanted to be everything. And I didn't think there was any limits. I wanted to have a bunch of children. I wanted to have hundreds of children, live on hundreds of acres. I wanted to live in a big house with a slide. I wanted my own lion. I wanted my own giraffe. I wanted Bubbles, the monkey. I wanted it all. I'm never afraid to chase it down. I would rather go to my grave saying I tried, and I tried. But I don't want to go to my grave saying I've never done anything. I've never tried anything. I live comfortably in some sort of pattern of failure and giving up. So I'm going to tell you, be hungry, but know that there is a process. Right? This business will reward you to the amount that you're willing to give to somebody else. Based on your willingness to give. My income is directly related to how many other people I help. Wouldn't you like that? A lot of y'all say y'all want to help people. I want to help people. I love helping people. And y'all say it as if helping people has to be separate and apart from making money. Why don't you help people help themselves while it helps you? That's called the triple help. You want to help? Then help, 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 help. But how are you going to save me without putting your mask on first? Right? So know that there's a process. And the reason ordinary people have a chance to win in this business is because we work as a team. We work as a team. No one person can sort of have ultimate success without a team. Bill Gates, he gets a lot of praise, but he had a team. Stephen Jobs had a team. Martin Luther King had a team. Even Jesus had a team. And we build as a team, right? So we work together. When you get on a call like this, we are part of your team. And we believe in you. But you got to believe in yourself. You want to be on a team? I don't want some fearful person taking the last shot. I don't want some fearful person afraid to take the ball to the hole. You got to believe in yourself. Belief is the very first element that it's going to take to have success. And lastly, understand that we're going to have obstacles. We're going to have setbacks. I have obstacles. I have setbacks. I feel like giving up. Matter of fact, I feel like giving up every day. But every day, what I say to myself is, I'll give up tomorrow. Tomorrow. And you know what? Tomorrow never comes. When I say I feel discouraged and I feel like tapping out, telling my wife to go back to work, me going back to 16 hours a day in the coal mines, I always say tomorrow. I want to be like Annie. Tomorrow, tomorrow, I love you. Tomorrow. Why don't y'all do that? Why don't y'all start giving up tomorrow and start working today? Right? Everything that you don't want to do that today. And all the giving up, do that tomorrow. And that's how you become successful. Just one step at a time. You know, and you've got to believe that success for you is not just possible, that it's inevitable. You've got to believe that you have the right to be successful. And you have to believe that you can be successful just as much as you believe that the light switch will come on when you flick the switch. I am more confident that I will hit diamond in our company than the light will come on when I hit the switch. You got to believe like that. And I want y'all to start believing, start practicing little acts of belief, right? And start some positive talk. Start saying things like, I can, I will, I am. Start talking that way. Get rid of the coulda, the shoulda, the wouldas, the trying. You know, those people never get anything done. They're always trying to make it. They're always trying to, Joe, just do it. Just do it. All right, so take a look at the video. And for those of you who are in the business and you want a helping hand, right? We're willing to give you a helping hand. Some of y'all don't want to talk to your friends. You don't want to talk to your family to build a business. What if we can give you an unlimited stream of people to talk to every day? right? So we did a training on the weekend. It was called Secrets to Success. Secrets to Success. So if you guys want to take a look at the webinar, we just show you how to introduce yourself to 50 or 100 people every single day, right? So if you want that, just go ahead and email me or text me. You can email me at run2diamond, RUN, the number 2, diamond, at gmail.com. We'll send you the webinar. And if you like the webinar and you think it makes sense, then get in. Now that you got a plan that you don't have to talk to mama and beg your sister and sort of harass your neighbor and get kicked out of the church because you don't talk to everybody at the church. There's 1.5 billion people just on Facebook alone. If you add all the social media together, you're looking at 4.5 billion people. That's half the planet. And all you need is less than half of 1%, right? So we'll show you how to do that. If you want the training, we'll give it to you. But more importantly than that, we're going to be in Philadelphia on May 3rd. It's a Tuesday. We'll be in Philadelphia. If you want information about that, I would love to meet you in person in Philadelphia on May 3rd. And then we're going to be in St. Louis, Missouri on May 22nd. It's a Sunday. We're having an 8-hour InterVarsity training. And we call it InterVarsity because it's immersion and training and university. It's hands-on. But beyond hands-on, we got people who will guide you through and teach you how to teach somebody else. So that is May 22nd. It's going to be in St. Louis. It's a Sunday. Listen, don't meet me there. Beat me there. Is that fair? Is that fair? Beat me there. Right? And all we're going to do is pour into you and pour into you and pour into you. And if you're a guest, definitely, if you're a guest, look at the video. Look at 5 Links Pays Me. 5linkspaysme.com. Get back with the person who invited you on this call or invited you onto this live Facebook training. And just say, I've seen it. I'm interested. What's next? I've seen it. I'm interested. What's next? Rome wasn't built in a day, but somebody had to put the first brick in place. So the first brick is you saying, I'm ready to give it a shot. If this don't work, you can always go back to what wasn't working before. With that being said, everybody, this is Thomas Felder, Platinum Senior Vice President for the awesome and incredible Team TNT. I look forward to seeing each of you on the beaches of the world, and not at the beach, at the bank. But more importantly than any beach or any bank, I look forward to seeing you at the gates of the kingdom. For what would it profit a man to gain the whole world and to lose his own soul? Until I meet you and greet you, walk with the King today and be a blessing. This call and this Facebook Live is officially over. God bless everybody. You guys take care. We'll see you tomorrow on Tuesday. All right? Take care. God